And now, Ms. Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Kristi Narinen, the Finnish ambassador. Thank you, Peter, for bringing and pumping so much oxygen into this plan. I met yesterday Ako Vilo, who is a geological engineer. He's in his, I think, 80s, 70s, 80s. And he wanted to talk about the tunnel, the pre-plan that they made and which was published in 1997, 20 years ago. And he was a bit upset that, as if the tunnel is a new invention. I also read statistics that in 1956, there were 200 Estonians that visited Finland. We got the statistics yesterday, 11.8 million people going through the harbor of port of Helsinki, plus the cruise passengers, 12.3 million. That is, of course, a magic number compared with anything. And Ulla Tapaninen, who is the city expert, said that usually when she presents the numbers in Europe, people think that there's a printing error in the numbers, that the comma is in the wrong place. That means that Helsinki actually already exists. It means that there are so many connections and contacts between our two countries and so much willingness to cross the Gulf of Finland that what we are talking about now is just kind of completing the project. Finland is an island, as we all know, so every contact needed with continental Europe, which Estonia represents, are needed for Finland. And we also know that already the decision to build Copenhagen-Malmö twin city bridge and tunnel was invigorating the economic activity in the region. We should never think of any of these projects that now are on the table, or actually not on the table, still in speech and in visions, be it then the finest link or Hyperloop or Peter Vesterbacka's tunnel plan. I think they are all wonderfully completing and complementing each other, because I find it very difficult to see that this tunnel would be built between Tallinn and Helsinki. It should be and is a part of a larger logistical chain which would actually join the Arctic region with Europe. However, with these numbers that we are seeing today, probably passenger traffic will be one of the main emphasis, but thinking of the traveling with only for people, I think that in this cost-benefit analysis we would probably run into trouble. Finnish foreign trade also needs a channel to take our export and import by rail to the heart of Europe. We all know that both Estonia and Finland are dependent upon foreign trade, so all logistical services and logistical solutions need and must support this basic fundamental element of our national economy. As mentioned before, I fully agree with Martin, and I fully agree also with Markus, that if you looked at the 1990-something picture of Soviet Union in ruins, it was an extremely wonderful allegory there. And this is what we have, and this is what will be. We need the people who think big. We also need the people who think wild. Finns have developed planning into an art, and I think planning being an art is not always benefiting the project. There should be a balance between planning, design, realism, and visions. And I think today's event, which I'm very happy to see many people here, I think here we are starting the debate in the sense on the concrete level, which is complemented and continued 7th of February by the feasibility study presentation of of the finest link tunnel project, which then will be followed by the Prime Minister's meeting, which then will be followed by the government's joint meeting in May. Although private capital will and most likely should be used for this project also, it's difficult to see that any of these projects would be realized without very, very strong government involvement, in particular when environment is concerned, because without environmental concerns being taken into account in our very vulnerable Gulf of Finland and Baltic Sea, I would strongly object any such thoughts, and I know that they are not there. This is a long project. Of course, some people say that it will never come. This is what I was told 3 years ago when I first was interviewed on the issue. The ERR Aktuaalne Kaamera weekly thing, this that they have we have on Sundays, came to me and they said, starting the interview, that we are talking about this which will never be. And I said, okay, fine. That's a kind of a very good starting point. However, even when this journalist then had a couple of interviews, Joachim Helenius was one, and also geological engineers, and then I was very excited about what will be the end result on Sunday when I turned on the TV. And his opinions already changed during that week and said, perhaps that this is not a Finnish project anymore, which it was then, that we are anxious to build the tunnel. And I was also surprised that, are we? Okay, fine. Maybe somebody is. So the rhetorics has changed, and I think that this has been the wonderful benefit of Peter's doing just during these last months. That really, really, if you have this kind of publicity, this kind of effort in branding the concept, this is what was exactly which was needed. And then we joined that with fantastic engineering, in which we are all very good at. We will then have the final, not the final, but the next step in adding on the 12.3 million and really building this twin capital, which is unique in the world. So, more than anxious to hear your visions, which I've heard already many times, and I'm sure that this will be an exciting trip for us all. Thank you.